something like that. And it's very
It's called
fascinating.
Hollywood Medium.
That's it. Thank you. Yes, that's it. Whatever. Thank you, Jason. So yeah, he does a really good job of the show. Now, so I'm curious about what your guys' thoughts are about, first of all, psychics in general, and then about him in particular.
Yeah. So to me, he's a rough 1920. I'm just gonna say he's a rough 1920.
Oh my God.
He looks older. He looks 25.
Okay.
Anyways, I haven't seen the show, so I can't say. But based on the little pieces that I have seen of him, I remember that I liked him and I thought that it was interesting. I'm always fascinated by the whole medium thing and that psychic ability. And just like we've kind of briefly touched on it in the past, I would actually, I think now I've more come to the terms of it that I would be interested in seeing a psychic or a medium to see if it could break through to my dad, which funny enough, this is actually the week that my dad passed away. So always this time of year, like I always start to go through those thoughts again. But
yes,
you know, I've kind of been marinating on it for a while, but I think it's definitely, if I could find the right person.
I have the right person for you. I told you.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah,
yes.
You did.
And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But but in general, so you're open to psychics and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What about you, Jason? Like, does it depend on who it is for you, or do you think they're all fakes, or what do you think?
I don't want to call him fake because I don't know him enough to make that judgment, but I feel like not celebrity, sorry. I feel like that psychics have been known to do this as for what I call quote unquote entertainment purposes only.
Sure. Yeah.
So, just from past, stuff that I've seen or whatever the case may be, I don't know if I really buy it, but he has his own show and that type of thing. So I really can't judge him per se because I haven't
not
seen
just
the show.
him, but in general, psychics in general. Do you think that there's
psychics in general?
Yes.
No, I just think it's more of like an entertainment type thing.
Okay, so you're I know you're kind of religious or something a little bit anyway, and so you think when you die you go to heaven and all that bullshit? Is that what you believe? I shouldn't say bullshit. I'm sorry. That stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well,
just say yes or no. Yes, you do or don't.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's fine. No problem. Great. Believe whatever you want to believe. Great. What I'm asking you, the reason I'm asking you is, so when you die and you go to the other side, you think that that's it? You can never communicate with Earth or people on Earth again. Is that true? You think it's not possible?
I don't know. I mean, I've never really put much thought into it.
Well, think about it then and answer my question. Do you think you can or not?
I don't know. Well, I guess it's possible from stuff that people have seen or heard or whatever the case may be. But
yes,
I guess.
So you think it may be possible?
Possibly.
Okay, so it's possible then that there are psychics that are possibly authentic.
I don't know. I've never really been into the whole psychic thing.
I'm not asking you to be into it.
Like...
I'm just asking you a question. You're not answering my question.
But like, if you were to see like Teresa Caputo or this guy or like any of those people on TV, when you're watching those type of things, do you believe it or are you like, this is all fake?
I think it's fake.
Okay. It's always interesting to me when there's someone who's religious and they don't believe that people die and can still communicate with us or anything. That's why I don't understand. So how would they communicate?
I'm first of all, I'm not that religious, but second of all, it's like I've always thought that it was just like a fake thing. Even when you see like the stuff like on TV when they run, back in the day when they run those commercials, I always saw things.
What do you mean, like Miss Cleo? Like, I mean, that's a completely different thing.
Entertainment purposes only.
That's
it's
a completely different thing. It's just like any other profession. There are people who are real, and there are people who are fake, or people who are good at their job, and people who aren't. People who do it for the money, and people who do it because they want to make people's lives better, or whatever. And it's no different than anyone else's profession. So there are definitely. I will tell you from firsthand experience that there are psychics who are real. Now, I am not one to be the wool pulled over my eyes. And I'm not the one that can be led into questions like, so is your mother passed? There's da-da-da-da. And you answer all these questions, and these cold read to you, and then you give them the answers. No, that's not how I do it. Every psychic I've seen, the one I've seen now for 15, 16 years especially, but even when I first saw her, she said, don't tell me anything, just let me tell you. And so that's what she's done every single time. And then I ask her specific questions after that. And that's how there's no way. This is before internet. This is before you could look somebody up and find out things. You know what I mean? And so I know for a fact that there are people who have a gift, if you want to call it a gift or a curse or whatever the fuck you want to call it, that can communicate with the quote-unquote other side. So I know for a fact. I'm telling you, as someone that it does exist. And I also know that I myself am very empathic, and I have certain gifts. I'm not psychic, but I have certain empathic gifts and abilities. And so it always irritates me when people think that everyone who says they have some sort of ability is lying or is fake, just to make money. And what about people who do it who don't ask for money? Are they doing it? Are they fake as well?
Well, that's just always been something I've just been completely uninterested in. Like, I remember years ago, like when I was 20 years old, and a friend of mine went to a psychic because she was just like, "Oh, this psychic lady that I really, really like, and she always has things going." I remember going, and I just remember being completely uninterested. Like, I was just like, "Girl, like her, like I was like, finish up her with the reading so we can go." Like, that was my entire mood the whole time. I was like, "Girl, I don't believe anything this woman is saying. Like, let's just." Like, go on and collect your $30 so we can go. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's just something I've just never had an interest in.
You don't have to be interested in it. I'm just saying it's possible.
That's fine. But I'm just saying that's just something that I personally just have never had an interest in.
Well, and I get that.
I think there will always be people that take advantage of the situation. Like,
exactly.
If you go to New Orleans and you walk down the street, like, New Orleans is already spooky, kooky, voodoo kind of vibe, right? So if you pop up a chair and you're doing palm readings for $20, you're probably more likely to get a read out of somebody than you would in another city.
Right.
Just because of the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Whereas that's the type of person that's taking advantage of
right. And the other thing, yes, you're absolutely right. And the other thing is that it's not just about that, but it's also the fact that everybody, this is just scientific proof, Jason. And the scientific fact is that everybody and everything in this world and this universe is energy and made of energy. Energy can never be destroyed. Never. So you can't destroy energy. We're made of energy. That's what we're made of. And so after we die, our energy, if you want to call it that, or soul, if you're religious, whatever, goes somewhere. And I don't know if it's reincarnated or whatever happens to us. I have no fucking idea because I'm not dead yet. But whatever happens to it, it does go on. So if you understand that that's what happens with, physically with us and energy when we die, then it makes sense that we are able to somehow still connect to it if we're still around. So, I'm just saying that's how it makes logical sense to me. And I'm a very logical person, but I'm also very connected to that kind of thing as well. So I guess maybe you're just somebody who's not open to it. To me, it feels like more like you're not open to it. It's not like you don't necessarily care about it, because I think if you had someone who sat down with you and could see what you've been through in your life, tell you what you've been through, and actually understand you, you would have a very big different experience and belief about this than you do now, and actually tell you what's going to happen.
Possibly, but I'm also not going to do it for the the low price of $149.95 either. So
that's what I asked you. If somebody did it for free, would you do it?
Yeah, if it was free, yeah.
And if they did it for free,
I'm not paying for it.
If they did it for free and you everything they said was dead on, would you then be a believer, or would you think that somebody told them everything?
No, I don't think anyone would have told them, because I would go and make sure that if I were to go, first of all, no one would be with me that would really, really know me, to be like, oh, this, I wouldn't do anything like that. But at the same time, I'm not paying for it.
You said that several times.
I'm just being very clear. I am not paying for it.
I get that. No problem. To me, it feels like you're afraid of being taken, and that's what I feel like. So, but whatever.
Being taken? What does that even mean?
Being taken? Taken for a fool. Meaning pulling the wool over your eyes, or making you,
Oh, I got you.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I mean. Anyway, not taken like by some stud on a horse. That's not what I mean. Anyway, so I just was curious about what you guys thought about him and everything. But I've seen the show, and as far as psychics go, he seems pretty authentic. I don't know, because I'm not on the receiving end of his reading. But it seems like all the celebrities, and the things he picks out. The other thing he does, he doesn't know who he's reading before he goes. Except he has like images and stuff that come in his head before the reading, and he read Margaret Cho. He's like, I keep having I had these people who Margaret Cho knows coming to my head yesterday. I don't know, so I think maybe I'm meeting her, and then he comes to the door. That's who it was. And all these little things that no one else knows, he picks up on. So it's just really fascinating. I would just advise that you watch at least one episode. It's
that's cool. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
So his thing is that pretty much he communicates with the dead people.
Well, he does. He's a medium and a psychic, both. Medium meaning he communicates with the dead people, and also psychic in terms of your future. So yes, both. Clairvoyant, meaning he can see the future, and also a medium.
Yeah, I don't know if I could date him.
Okay.
You could date him?
Well, I don't know who's asking you to date him in the first place. But...
No, I'm just not. I was just saying in general for him or any other type of.
Oh, you mean because he's psychic? Yeah.
Yeah, just because they communicate with dead people and that creeps me out. So no.
I think it's really a fascinating thing, and I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. But anyway, whatever floats your boat.
No, that will creep me out.
Okay, well, yeah. Before I get off the topic, I have a psychic that's read me for many, many, many years, and on and off. And every few years or so, I get a reading from her, but she's awesome. I'm actually having one next week with her. The first one in like 4 or 5 years I've had with her, and she's awesome. And her name is Carrie Konya, Konanhya, I think. And you can look her up online. She's awesome. I love her. So I definitely recommend her. Anybody. All right. So let's talk now about Amy Schumer.
Okay. So for those of you who are kind of unfamiliar with Amy Schumer, or just kind of sort of know her, Amy Schumer has been in the comedy game for like 12 years now. But she's always been kind of like an underground comedy act doing super small venues all across the country. Well, over the last few years, she's rose to fame because she had a show on Comedy Central. Then she's been writing TV shows and movies. And then I'm sure you know the movie Trainwreck that she starred in. She produced, wrote it, and starred in it. And has now become much more of a mainstream act. Well, around this time last year, it was announced that she had picked up a book deal for $8 million. And I remember reading that and thinking, like, damn, like $8 million book deal for right off your first movie, like, damn.
Well, her first movie was a huge success. It was hugely successful.
Oh no, it was huge. Yeah. Well, and her fans are like diehard fans.
Well, I'm one of them. Yes,
they've been with her for so long.
I sure have.
Long
before this,
I bought the book.
Yep.
And because I'm an Amy Schumer fan as well.
Yes.
But I have to say, the last season of Inside of Amy
was
Schumer,
lacking.
I was pretty disappointed with.
Totally agree.
Because it just didn't seem as
You know why?
smart.
You're so, oh my God, you're so perceptive. I completely agree with that because, I was thinking the same thing, Kristen. You know why I thought about it? I think after she reached a certain level of success and fame, and it's not intentional, I think that there's kind of an edge you lose because you become, you know what I mean? Don't you agree with that?
And it's almost like the hunger's not there.
Exactly.
I mean, I hate to say that the hunger's not there, but it's like,
She don't
push yourself as far.
Exactly. Plus, she's busier.
Maybe you have
she's
so
busier.
many projects,
right?
Or maybe you're busier. You don't have as much time to really delve into it. So, the last season I was pretty disappointed with. There was a lot of sketches about fame and money, whereas in the past they were just really smart characters and unique situations and just smart humor.
Well, not just that, but also, I mean, her show's always been very political. I mean, she had a lot of political sketches too.
Definitely,
so,
and I definitely think that they do a smart way of, kind of touching on those issues. So I got the book, and I was kind of expecting it to be like a essay type book where every chapter is kind of like a story, and there's something that's learned out of it, and it's kind of motivational and blah. Well, it's kind of like that meets biography meets like where she kind of is right now. But one of the things that, to me, there was kind of pros and cons about it. The pros of it were that it was really fun to read and it was easy to read. I read it in 2 days. There was a lot of funny stories and definitely, some good motivational stuff and kind of like the, oh, girl, we've all been there kind of situations. And then there was also some things that were a little bit harder to read, which I can appreciate that she put those in there. She talks about losing her virginity and basically getting raped, and her abusive parental upbringing. And then she has a whole chapter, which I think it just depends on who's reading it, but she had a whole chapter pretty much towards the beginning about how now she only flies private, and she makes all this money, and she stays in the nicest hotels, and um, only has private drivers, and she's not afraid to apologize for it, which I can appreciate to an extent.
She's not afraid to apologize for it, or she's not apologizing for it?
Or she's not going to apologize for it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And which I can appreciate to an extent, because definitely when
Mhm.
you've earned it, which I definitely